Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our virtual classroom. My name is Ben. I will be your teacher tonight. Our topic tonight are phobias. We will be talking about fears, and a phobia is an intense form of anxiety with a deep sense of fear to which the body reacts. And just quickly, I am from the United States originally. Now I live in Da Nang, Vietnam, and I am very happy to be with you tonight. And I would like to ask each of you to please introduce yourself to the class when I call on you, and please tell us your name and your home city or province. And then after you introduce yourself, very quickly, I would like to ask you to type in the chat box on your screen a couple of phobias that you know. So please type one or two phobias in the chat box after you introduce yourself. And first I would like to welcome Quang. Good evening.
Good evening. Nice to meet you. My name is Quang. I come from Bắc Ninh province. I'm 30 years old. Uh, uh, Good evening, teacher and
Good
everyone.
evening. Very nice to meet you, Quang. And Quang, if you could type a couple of things that you know people are afraid of in the chat box when you get a chance here in just a second. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. And welcome to class. It's very nice to have you here. And next, I would like to welcome Lynn. Good evening.
Good evening, teacher and everyone. My name is Lynn, and I'm now 17 years old. I'm a high school student, and now I'm living in Hải Phòng City in the north of Vietnam, 100 kilometers from the capital.
Very nice to meet you, Lynn. And so, Lynn, could you tell us maybe a couple phobias that you are aware of? I see one here, a fear of holes. Yes. Excellent. And then I see Quang's fear of dankness. That's good. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. I see you have already done this. This is great. Thank you, and welcome to class. And next, Yin, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ben and the rest of the last. My name is Jung. I'm 18 years old. I'm a student and I'm able to attend the university this year. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. And Yin, could you please also maybe tell us or type a couple of fears in the chat box when you can, when you get a chance? That would be very good. Oh yes, we're getting a lot. This is good. So if you could add to this would be wonderful. Thank you and welcome. And V, good evening.
Hi, Mr. Ben. My name is Fee, and I am 22 years old. My hometown is Vũng Tàu, Vietnam.
Very nice. Welcome. Nice to meet you. And good to have you in class. Thank you, V. And again, if you could add to the list in the chat box, this would be great. Thank you so much. And Sun, good evening.
Good evening. Nice to meet you, Ben, and everyone. I'm from Hanoi. And there are some common phobia such as fear of injection, fear of death, fear of flying. Nowadays there is a very new phobia such as fear of low battery, fear of low.
Yes, I like that. No, I think I suffer from this phobia.
Yeah.
Fear of low battery. That's great. Excellent. Thank you, Son. That's really good. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, and welcome everyone. And so we will talk a little bit about phobias tonight. And so the next thing I want to do is, you can see here the list of 6 phobias on the left side of the page. And when I call on you, I wonder if you could match one phobia with the definition, of the appropriate definition, and then tell us what you think about this. So I will start with you, Quang. Could you please match one phobia with its definition?
Nogophobias. Nogophobias, that means the irrational fear of the worst.
Yeah, excellent. And so what do you think about this?
Sorry,
I don't
understand.
I don't either.
Could you explain for me?
No, I can't. Because I don't know because we use words this whole class. It's an irrational fear of words. I don't know, because I write and I teach writing and I teach language, so I love words, and so it's very difficult for me to understand this, I think. And maybe,
Thank you.
yeah, I don't understand either, so don't worry, it's no problem. Lynn, what about you? Could you match phobia with definition?
Microphobia means irrational fear of small things.
Yeah, excellent. And then, what do you think about this?
Ridiculous, because in my opinion, small things are cute.
Yeah.
But to let you know, actually I've surfed the internet and I look for this kind of fear, microphobia, and actually it means the fear of germs.
Yeah.
Yes, and that makes more sense.
It does make more sense. Fear of germs, maybe bacteria, maybe things like this. Yeah.
And, I think a small thing. If you're afraid of small things, that's a little bit it's hard to believe, but if it is the fear of germs or microorganisms, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think
that makes a lot more sense. Because I think maybe germs and bacteria, they can be dangerous, whereas just small things, I don't know, like should I be afraid of maybe maybe a tablet, or maybe a little small speck of dirt or something? I don't know, but I think that makes much more sense, the fear of germs. Excellent. Thank you, Lynn, for clarifying that. I think actually that's quite important. I think so. That makes a lot more sense. And Yun, what about you?
Yeah, I feel acrophobia.
Yeah,
Some of irrational fear of height.
yeah. And what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think this is a user reaction of everyone because when you are at the top of a office or a high building, you will feel scared of it, and yeah, you have a feel that like you on the verge of falling off it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think this is probably much more common, and it makes much more sense than some other phobias. At least in my opinion, this makes more sense. I think, yeah. I have been in a very tall building or been on top of a mountain and been very scared to look over the side. And I think this makes more sense. Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Young. I think that's good. And V, what about you? Can you match one of these?
Uh, Acrophobia means irrational fear of water.
Yeah. And what do you think about that?
Uh, I think people who have this phobia, when they come to some place that have a lot of water, like a swimming pool or the beach, or some places that have a lot of water,
Yeah.
they will feel a lot, and like they will sweat a lot, and then hit their heart will beat faster,
Yeah.
and think clearly, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. Uh, and I think maybe this makes more sense too if somebody has experienced something like drowning. This can be, I think, this would make sense to me if somebody had some experience maybe when they were young, something like that. That sounds like it. That makes sense, and I can understand that. Excellent. Thank you very much. And son, what about you? Could you match one of these?
I choose the was aerophobia. I
Yeah.
mean the irrational fear of aeroplanes or flying
Yeah.
over air. I think that in general we have a fear when we don't know something or we are in an unsafe situation.
Yeah.
In this case, that we when we are, for example, in a plane,
Yeah.
we some people may think that there will be a crash or something like that because they read a lot of newspaper news related to accident in as aircraft accident, for example.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, actually, this is interesting because there's actually a band named, a very famous American football player, who is now a journalist or like a television host. His name is John Madden. And if you were to Google John Madden, you would see that he has this. And so he is he has to, he travels everywhere by bus.
Uh-huh. It's very tired.
Yeah, I think his bus is very nice, you know. Um, yeah, he's very famous for this. And so luckily, American football games take place once a week. So he has time to travel from football stadium to football stadium. But he's quite famous because he is afraid of flying. That's very good, yeah.
So in case he want to go to Vietnam, he have to swim.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe take a boat. I don't know, you know. I don't know. I don't know if he has ever been on an airplane, you know. I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, we should move on. I think this is great. And then lastly, we have this last one, acoustic phobia, which is the fear of sounds, irrational fear of sounds, and you know, I think maybe this is a natural reaction if we live in a very dangerous place where sounds can mean the presence of potential threats. I don't know. I don't understand phobias very well, but I think this is very interesting. I don't understand the fear of words, though. So the next thing I want to do then, we'll move away from discussion of phobia, and we will practice some vocabulary. And so what I will do is I will pronounce all 6 words that you see here. And so then I will ask each of you to please repeat these words after me. And one thing I think that can be a very useful tool to help pronounce words such as some of these that have many syllables or strange combinations of letters is to think of each syllable as one word. So, for example, I want to highlight this word reassure, because oftentimes in English the combination EA, it sounds like E, for example. So you will see this in a word like leave, for example. But in this case, actually, the word that splits. So the 2 syllables. So reassure this is how you can think of this, and the spelling I know is a little different, but I'm just showing you how you can think of this word and pronouncing this word, because it is a little bit strange and doesn't follow certain rules. So you can think of the word reassure. And so let me begin, and then I will ask you to all repeat all 6 words. So, and pay close attention to my lips and tongue. Goosebumps. Terrified. Treatment. Reassure. Obstacle. Encounter. And first, I will ask you, Kwang, to please repeat these.
Goosebumps, terrified, judgment, reassure, obstacle, encounter.
Really good, and especially those words, reassure and obstacle. You did really well. Those are really hard words. So, excellent. Let me repeat. Goosebumps. Don't forget that P, bump. There's that P at the end of that. It's kind of a strange sound. Goosebumps. Terrified. Treatment. Reassure. Obstacle. Encounter. And Lynn.
Goosebumps, terrified, treatment, reassure, obstacle, encounter.
Perfect. Goosebumps. Terrified. Treatment. Reassure. Obstacle. Encounter. And V.
Goosebumps, terrified, treatment, reassure, obstacle, encounter.
Really good. Excellent. And again, goosebumps. Terrified. Treatment. Reassure. Obstacle. Encounter. And Young.
Goosebumps, terrified, treatment, reassure, obstacle, encounter.
Excellent. And once more. Goosebumps. Terrified. Treatment. Reassure. Obstacle. Encounter. And so on.
Goosebumps, terrified, judgment, reassure, obstacle, encounter.
Perfect. Excellent. Really well done. And so next, Kwang, could you please choose one of these words to define?
Goosebump. Yeah,
Okay.
goosebump. That's been small rays that appear on the skin
Yeah.
because of cold, fear, or excitement.
Yeah. Excellent. And can you please make a sentence with goosebumps?
The sentence the silence gives my goosebump.
Yeah,
Because I feel silent.
that's great. That's perfect. Thank you. And Lynn, could you please choose a word to define?
Yes. Word number 5, obstacle.
Obstacle, excellent.
Obstacle means something that makes it difficult to do, or the object that blocks your way.
Yeah. And could you please make a sentence with obstacle?
Yes. Well, the fear of flying is your huge obstacle. You have to overcome it if you want to travel abroad.
Very good. And John Madden probably never will. Very good. Thank you. And Young, could you please choose a word?
I choose the word number 6. Encounter. Encounter means yeah. It's an action of facing meeting something.
Yeah.
Fear. Yeah. That you are fearful of it.
Yeah, and sometimes sometimes I would say to face something or someone you fear or or that you just don't know about, for example. So something new, I think. And could you please make a sentence with encounter?
If you want to overcome your phobias, you have to encounter it and try your best to to cope with it every day.
Very good. That's perfect. Excellent. And V, could you please choose a word to define?
I choose number 3, treatment. Uh, it means something that you do to overcome your illness or to deal with your phobia.
Yeah. And could you please make a sentence with treatment?
Um, he is receiving a treatment for head cancer.
Yeah. Excellent. That's perfect. And next, Son, could you please choose a word to define?
Yeah, I choose terrified. Terrified means deeply afraid.
Yeah, really deeply afraid.
And
Excellent.
my sentence is it is terrified to be alone in the darkness.
Yeah. And in this case, you would probably say, I am terrified. I am terrified to be alone in the darkness. Because generally, when we use the word terrified, or we're talking about a person. So or a living thing. It could be like an animal, any kind of animal. So, for example, my dog is terrified of the garbage truck. You know, something like that. That would also work as well. Thank you, Son. I think that's great. And we have one word left to reassure. Lynn, could you please define a reassure for us?
Yes. And well, reassure means to make someone feel less afraid.
Yeah, very good. And could you please make a sentence?
Okay. I I reassure that you won't be in danger if you're in a dark room.
Very good. That's excellent. And very well done, everyone. And so next I want to practice a couple of idioms, two idioms. The first one is jump out of your skin. And the second one is have nerves of steel. And so to jump out of your skin means to be very surprised or scared by something. Like, for example, maybe when you are concentrating deeply and a door slams and you all of a sudden go, oh, like that might be to jump out of your skin. You know, that's what that might look like. And to have nerves of steel means to be very brave. So we sometimes maybe associate this with soldiers, or sometimes maybe other people who are doing very dangerous jobs. And you can see two examples here of the idioms. The first one is, you need to have nerves of steel to be a fighter pilot. And the second one is, the loud noise made me jump out of my skin. And I will give you just maybe one or two more examples and then ask you to make one. So let's see, the bomb disposal crew has nerves of steel. So that's one example. Another example that you might see, and to jump out of my skin, or you might say that when the door slammed, I jumped out of my skin. Something like that. So I would like to ask you to each take a turn and make a sentence using one of these. So Quang, we'll start with you.
Yeah. I try jump out of your skin. I had jump out of my skin when the cat appeared in night.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Excellent. And Lynn?
Just the second one, have nerves of steel. Well, the sentence is you need to have nerves of steel if you want to take part in that adventurous games.
Very good. Excellent. That's perfect. The perfect use of that. And V?
I choose the first one, jump out of your skin. Because of his sudden appearance, I jumped out of my skin.
Perfect. And Yun?
First, I jumped out my skin when a train person turned up, in front of my house.
Perfect. Excellent. And Son?
When the police appear, the thieves jump out of his queue.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Everyone did very well there, so I'm not worried at all. And so next I want to practice another structure, and this one is just to use the words frightened and cope. So the first structure would be a subject, and then to be frightened of either a noun or a verb with an ing. The second structure would be a subject, and then the word cope with a noun by a verb with an ing. And so two examples we see. Very simple. I am frightened of cockroaches. And of course, I'm is simply the conjunction of the words I am. So I am frightened of cockroaches is what this is. And so the second structure is just a little more complex, but the subject is I, and then we see a cope with, and the noun here is the fear of darkness. So my fear of darkness, that's the noun. And then we see the word by, and then we see the verb with ing, trying. And then you see this big long end of the sentence, but this is really optional. So, for example, you don't need a really long sentence like this. If you want to make one, that's fine. But another example of the first structure would be something like, my father is frightened of or is frightened of thunder. Something like that. That would be, and that's very simple. You can see, and the second structure. So the subject again, I will use my father. My father copes with his fear by wearing earplugs. So it could be very simple like this. Or you could say something like, my father copes with his fear by covering his ears, something like that. Very simple. And Guang, could you please make a sentence using one of these structures?
I make the sentence. He frightens the ghost. Yeah.
Excellent. He is frightened of ghosts. Yeah, that's perfect.
He coped with his fear by trying walk in the darkness every night.
That's good. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. And Lynn?
I coped with my fear was by reading books every day.
Excellent. That's perfect. And Young?
I am frightened of injection, and I cope with my fear by holding my mother's hand whenever I have a injection.
Very good. Very good. That's perfect. And V.
Um, it copes with logophobia, taking medicine.
That's good. That's good. Excellent. I wonder, it must be very good medicine, I think. Excellent. Very well done. And Son.
Uh, I'm frightened of dog, and I cope with my fear of dog by uh, practice running every day.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Everyone did very well. So I think this is very good. And just very quickly, I want to have a discussion. And so, well, severe phobias should be treated, right, with professional therapies. You can overcome some mild and moderate phobias and reduce the stress associated with them. So I want to ask you to discuss with a partner phobias, and maybe you have a phobia, or maybe you can discuss other people's phobias. But just very quickly think about some ways to deal with phobias, and just discuss with each other. And first, I would like Quang and Lin to discuss.
Nice to meet you, Nick.
Good evening, Kong.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
as we just learned today, there's a lot of phobias, and could
Yeah.
you please tell me some ways to deal with this, to deal with phobias? I think that is
Yeah.
quite hard, but to be honest, there is definitely many ways to deal with this.
Yeah. In when I was a child, I fear of the water. Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah. And
Are you
now I
still
go.
afraid of
Yeah.
water?
Yeah. Um, because I dropped down to the pool, so that is an accident, very dangerous accident. So and then very dangerous water. Then I cope with my fear by trying to swim. I learn trying to learn swim. Very difficult, but then now I can swim I can swim, so I not fear the water. Yes, and you? What?
Okay. But no, actually,
What about you?
I'm not afraid of anything. Well,
You
I can say
you
that.
have a
Yeah.
you have level of style.
I think you're the only person in the world, I think.
You never afraid anything.
Yes, that's right.
I mean,
I'm not afraid of anything. But
Yeah.
well, in my opinion, no. In fact, I have a friend who is afraid of heights, heights, and well, now she isn't anymore. Well, I remember I had to do a lot to help her overcome it. For example, I had to go. I used to go with her to the high building and try to push her to look up look down, and many times well she forgot about her fear, and then she can go to a high buildings to a roof to do everything. And well, therefore I suggest that to overcome a fear, we really need the help of our acquaintance, our family, our friends to get over it together.
Yeah.
Really good.
Thank you.
I think that's excellent. I want to move on because I want to hear what Lee and Young have to say. So why don't you two discuss?
Yeah.
Hi, Dung.
Yeah. Hi.
Dung, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you really.
Uh, Actually, I have a big fear of height. Whenever I come to some place that are high, like the terrace or the high floor of the building, I'm always feel really nervous and my heart. So, solution to deal with this.
Yeah. I think everyone have a fear of height because when they are at the top of extreme height, they will have a feeling of on the verge of falling off it. So I think you have to consider your fear as a common phobias. So and you have to keep in mind that it's just a little thing you have to overcome, and yeah, and this situation is not as scary as average person think, and you can yeah, have somebody company with you, and
I think that's great, and I'm sorry, I want to move on very quickly. I think you're absolutely right, and I think it is very common. But I want to hear Son. Son, do you have any phobias?
Yes, I have a phobia of speaking in public.
Ah, well, I can tell you that, before I became a teacher, I had a kind of a similar phobia. But then I was, all of a sudden, I had to speak in front of a classroom, and then I had sometimes to had to speak in front of hundreds of people, and at first I sweated. I just was sweaty and very nervous, and then it took maybe after, I don't know, it was like after one or two times, it felt very easy, but it was the first time I was a nervous wreck. But I think that